I wonder if we can ever be happy.
My name is Mustafa Samate, and my pronouns are he, him, his. Currently, I'm serving as the ASUW student body president. The student body president serves as the primary administrator for student government, so it involves overseeing ASUW as a whole and acting as the student representative in key areas on campus. So liaisoning directly with President Kase, Provost, and sits at the Board of Regents in representing students' interests and the student perspective in those spaces to ensure that decision making in policy and university-wide issues are like kept in touch with student perspective. So that's what usually the president does. I first started in student senate in my first quota at UW and didn't know if I wanted to pursue another role in student government or not. But being involved on campus and like seeing all the things that go on and see how it affects students in a lot of ways, that was one of the main reasons why I wanted to pursue the role of the presidency, to be able to get into the role and just share the previous experiences I've had being a leader in different communities. And also I'm a transfer student, the first transfer student to be president. Most of the time transfer students have 2 years at UW. So most of the time, like our student experience as being a transfer student is just come, take class and leave, because you only have 2 years and you just want to ensure that you get into your major and get all of that. I wanted to get in the role because a lot of UW policies doesn't really favor transfer students, because most of the time people see us as the outsider or like the newcomer. And I really wanted to change that and get into the role to see how best we can look into those issues to get more transfer students engaged at UW. So that was why I decided to pursue the role of the presidency. Not a lot of students know what we do or who we are, but we are engaged in the university in ways that the decisions we make on behalf of our students do affect students, whether they are involved in ASUW or not. So knowing that ASUW can be a resource for them in looking into issues or like advocating or just providing programs and ways that students can be engaged in finding community. So I wish that all students can know that ASUW can be a resource for them. Been a lot of like rewarding experiences, like just being elected president is so humbling, and like having the opportunity to run for the role and just having the opportunity to work with alongside with a lot of other student leaders who have similar values and passion is like rewarding. I'm very honored to be in this role. I think this year we were able to work together with UW to get them acknowledge National Transfer Student Week, and we were able to like meet with all the college administration presidents for the community colleges across the state to re-emphasize how important the transfer student perspective is at UW, and just re-emphasizing all of that. That was really a very amazing experience and work for me to be part of, because of that, ASUW has been able to like make a lot of like recommendations to departments like first year student experience and orientation advice, and to see how best we can incorporate all of that transfer student experience, so that when I'm not here, students coming in the future are able to like connect with the community and like find a space at UW quickly, because it took some time for me to have that community, and I want all the students to be able to do that quickly. And also like when it comes to like getting into your major, sometimes you're admitted at UW, especially if you're in the STEM area, you technically have your first quarter to find a major. And if it doesn't go well, your like timeline is a little bit messed up, because it's a really scary situation to be put in. So we're
Yeah.
just trying to like review all of those to see how best we can make sure that the policies at UW just reflects where students are coming from and all of that stuff. We are in a very uncertain year. Of course, like UW is not perfect, and we're trying to like work as hard as much as we can to ensure that we are able to learn the lessons from COVID-19 to see what it means for UW and our students in the future in terms of teaching and learning. I don't want to say that's an accomplishment for me, but like being able to be part of that work and like redefining what it means for teaching and learning for our students. And this is just a new project that the provost is working on. So I've been able to like sit on those groups and just brainstorm like what questions the UW should be thinking about in the future. So I guess that would be a good question for me to reflect back and say this was the work that we've done for our students and what it means for the future. I guess now like the filing deadline has passed, I guess I'll just encourage students to be engaged with the candidates and vote and get to ask them questions to see what values they hold up most and see how best they can have them represent them. Because again, we have students who range across different communities on campus, and I happen to come from a marginalized community because I'm a transfer student, I'm an immigrant student, and Black. So I want to see a representative in ASUW in student government that will be able to prioritize the issues that my community faces. So I would urge students to do that with the candidates, because again, one of the few things that separates students with marginalized identities from anyone else is the opportunity for participation and representation. And most of the time we want to be part of a community where we feel that our voices are listened to and heard upon. So I'm urging the candidates to get into their roles and see it as a representative role rather than just being the person running for the role, but it's a representative role. Sometimes your work really comes from the student body. So just reflecting on that, and the student body should be able to hold candidates and elected folks accountable to what they say and what they do. I'll just say like ASUW has existed for a very long time. And with any organization, it's not perfect. Even UW is not perfect. So we're like, the reason why we run is to be able to get into it and see how best we can change it within the system to change the norms and ensure that all students can see themselves through it. And it will keep changing. And I just urge students to be able to be part of that process. But that's the beauty of it, because every year you have a new different student groups that like are running to be taking up that leadership role. So it's really beautiful to see that transition every year.